Hi, this is my most recent project. I'm using this beautiful fabric to make new curtains for our basement. This fabric I used before for two other windows that I made curtains for that didn't have curtains originally. So I'm just continuing the project. So here you'll see me measuring. I'll have to measure the hems, the seams, and the dowel pocket and everything, so when I cut it, I'll know I have enough material to make the curtains. So I measured twice to cut once, and here I am cutting the fabric. And I measure and cut the second curtain fabric. Here I am hemming the sides of the curtain. I'm trying to use the Stitch Sew Quick, and it was a bust. It kept tangling up and jamming. It wasn't worth the time and effort. So here's just a little bit of a sped up video of me trying to use it, and it just keeps jamming. It's not worth it for this tiny little project. So as you can see, I am resorting to sewing it by hand, which will not take very long. I am just going to do a quick, I don't know, it's not a whip stitch, in and out stitch here. No back stitching, it's just the side hem of a simple curtain. So here we go. This is so much easier than that contraption, the Stitch Sew Quick by Singer. Easy stitching. So here I am measuring the top of the curtain, which will be holding the dowel that attaches to the window. And I want to make a little ruffle on top, so I'm basically going to stitch about a 2.5 inch seam on the top, and then when I put the dowel in, it's going to have one more stitch to make that nice and tight in there and create a ruffle on the top of the curtain. So here I am just pinning it, so when I do the simple stitch, I'll know I could do it really quickly. Now I'm threading the needle to sew by hand. I'll need a little more than the width. Thread the needle. I use a large needle because this is not a detailed project. This way I can thread it and sew fairly quickly. Alright, so that's plenty of thread. What I'm going to do is just hem this. I did turn the hem over on this piece. I did not on the edges, but this piece might be used a little bit more, and I don't want it fraying because the dowel will fit here. There we go. So here I am finishing up the top part of the curtain. Okay, so now I sewed the top pocket where the dowel fits in. I just have to sew one more row so the dowel fits in nice and tightly and forms a little ruffle on top when it's ruched together like that. So we're going to do that, and then the very last thing we'll do is the bottom hem, so we know that that is at the right level. So here is the length of the dowel. This is the correct length. So this whole curtain will be squeezed in together to give a little ruffled look on the top and on the bottom. Okay, so let's stick the dowel back in. We want a nice tight pocket so you're able to, so it's able to hold it. So I will draw a line right here, and I'm going to do this all by hand and by sight. I might even keep the dowel in there, I'm not sure, but if there's any problem we can come back and fix it. I think this should be fine though. So here I'm going to be sewing the dowel seam. I'm going to leave the dowel in there and just make sure it's tight enough for it to fit, and I'm doing this all by sight, and it's going to work out fine. So here I am stitching very close to the dowel, so it has a nice tight fit in there, so it fits and works properly. Just doing it by sight. All right, so now the dowel is in there, and I'm gonna squish it together like this, and we're gonna see how it looks hanging on in the basement. And then I'll hem the bottom as soon as I hang it to make sure it's just the right length. There's the basement window at the bottom of the steps. Yes, somebody has to always be here. It's Bella. So, this is going to be hanging on this side. I'll go ahead and hang that up. So that is how it looks. I still have the second one to make, but I'm hanging this up to see how much I have to hem it. So if I want it to fall right at the bottom of the window pane, I can hem it up to here. If I want it to hang a little lower, I could just do, 1 inch and have it hang here. So I have plenty of leeway. And that's how it looks. So I'm going to mark the bottom of the window pane where that comes to, and then I'm going to mark where it could hang longer if I decide to do that. And this is, if you can't see, it's a little ruffled on top because we made a little pocket for the dowel to fit in. And the dowel is literally sitting inside a little O-ring screw-in thing here on the end. So no big deal, nothing fancy. And it's doing the exact same thing on this side. Just, you don't even see that when you're down here. So there, it's a pretty fabric. It matches those other windows I did several years ago. Let's get it into focus. There they are. It's nice and cheery. All right. So here, the other little baby had to come down. Hi, Peanut. Thank you. Hi, cutie. Hi, cutie patootie. It's getting close to their dinner time. All right, so I'll make my marks on that and continue. Okay, so I finished that one. There it is. I hemmed it up just about 1.5 inches. And the dowel is right in here. And it has a little ruffle on top, which finishes off the top nicely. There you go, some bright, cheery, new fabric. Kind of looks like stained glass. Do you like it, Bella? You're so good. And here's the finished product. I made the second curtain today in about 1.5 hours, and I think it looks great. Such a pretty color. Gives privacy, but also the light shines through.